What's up, guys? D-Rock1992 here. For this next video and for my next movie review, I'm going to be reviewing a movie that came out last year. It was the first of four movies on a four-picture Netflix deal that Adam Sandler made with Netflix. And that first movie was The Ridiculous Six. So there's a lot of people in this movie, for sure. And you have Adam Sandler. I mean, Sandler is the lead guy in this film. You have Terry Crews, who is... Lately, he's been a big Adam Sandler collaborator. You have, if you can believe it, Taylor Lautner from the Twilight film series. More on him later, and the character he plays. Rob Schneider, who is a frequent Adam Sandler collaborator. You know, Nick Swardson is in this movie. Luke Wilson. Let's see. Steve Buscemi is a frequent collaborator. David Spade is also a frequent collaborator. John Lovitz is been in some movies of his. Harvey Keitel, Chris Parnell, Blake Shelton, the country singer, is in this movie. Vanilla Ice is in this movie. There are a lot of actors and actresses in this movie. Adam Sandler has it jam-packed with actors that he normally doesn't work with, some first-timers, but then there are all the other guys, basically, that work with him. That, you know, Rob Schneider's been in just about every movie with Sandler. David Spade, same thing. You know, it's a lot of Adam Sandler collaborators. So this is another movie, and the critics will say this, definitely. This is another movie where Adam Sandler puts all his friends in, you know. Adam Sandler has to be one of the most giving actors in all of Hollywood because he lets his buddies be in every film. Now, there's a lot of criticism that Adam Sandler and his buddies aren't that funny anymore, but I'm not here actually to talk about Adam Sandler and the decline in his movies. I'm just here to talk about the movie The Ridiculous Six. So The Ridiculous Six is about a man who he meets up with his long-lost father, his long-lost biological father, and meets him, strikes up a relationship with him, but then the father gets kidnapped. In the meantime, Sandler's character has to try to save his father. And along the way, he teams up with 5 other men, his 5 half-brothers, different mother, same father. And that's Terry Crews, Jorge Garcia, Taylor Lautner, Rob Schneider, and Luke Wilson, who are the other 5, along with Adam Sandler. They are the Ridiculous Six, and they encounter a lot of hijinks and craziness on their way to rescue their father. So that's basically what the movie's about, and I will say this right now. I have been one of the biggest Adam Sandler supporters. You know, I mean, I've pretty much liked every movie he's been in. That's My Boy, the one he did with Andy Samberg that came out in 2012, that movie I didn't love. I thought it was kind of disappointing, but it was okay. It was iffy, but not a terrible Adam Sandler movie. This movie, I'm sad to say, is a terrible Adam Sandler movie. My God, this is a bad movie. It's not funny at all. It barely got any chuckles from me. You know, maybe a occasional chuckle here and there, but really, the movie's job was to be funny, and it was not funny. So, you know how I was going to talk about Taylor Lautner's character? Well, now I'm going to talk about his character. Taylor Lautner's character, which the name is Lil Pete Stockburn. One of the Stockburns are the Ridiculous Six, you know. Taylor Lautner's character, without a doubt to me, is the worst disgrace of a character you could ever put on screen. The worst portrayal of a character I have ever seen in a movie. And, okay, maybe Taylor Lautner was going for... Maybe he was going for something here. But the character was so fucking annoying. Nothing funny about him. He was just stupid, slow, extremely annoying. My God. It made Johnny Depp's Mordecai tolerable. That's how bad Taylor Lautner's character was. Was not funny, very annoying, and I say again, the worst character I have ever seen in a movie. And that's what brought the Ridiculous Six down. One of the big things. As well as the fact that the movie was not funny. It was a bad movie, and it's one of those rare Adam Sandler films for me that just didn't work. So they could have had a really great premise. Now, Seth MacFarlane came out with a Western comedy a couple years ago called, 100 Million Ways to Die in the West. And while there was a lot of negative backlash to the movie from critics, I really enjoyed the film. I loved A Million Ways to Die in the West. I think it was Family Guy humor. But anyway, this movie was set in the West. And this movie was what The Ridiculous Six wasn't. It was funny. It was a funny, hilarious film. The Ridiculous Six, Adam Sandler's attempt at a Western, was not funny. It was terrible. So, overall, I'm going to give this movie a 1 out of 5 stars, 1 for bad. This did not get Adam Sandler off to the best start for Netflix. Luckily for me, his second film on Netflix, which was The Do-Over, with him and David Spade, that movie did better. I thought the movie was solidly good. Not great, but solidly good. So, Sandler's 1 for 2 for Netflix, in my opinion. So we'll see what he does in the next 4. Or in the next 2 Netflix movies of his 4 Netflix movie deal. So we'll see how that happens, and hopefully it turns out the next 2 movies turn out good. So that is it for my review on The Ridiculous Six. D-Rock 1992 out.